Well, let's talk about this some more. Fahd Hussain is a former special assistant to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and he joins us live now from the capital, Islamabad. Thanks for coming on the News Hour. Just briefly, first of all, tell us a little bit more about this militant separatist group that has claimed responsibility for the attack, the Balochistan Liberation Army. Who are they? How are they funded and organised, and how do they recruit?
Thank you. Well, BLA, as it is called, has officially been designated as a terrorist organization, both by Pakistan as well as the United States. It has been waging an armed insurgency against the state and is responsible for a number of terrorist attacks targeting innocent people in the last many years. It is now well established that BLA has found refuge in Afghanistan across the border, that it is receiving funding from other hostile countries. It is receiving military training as well as modern weapons. So in many ways, it is now waging a war against Pakistan and against the people of Pakistan. This was, of course, probably the most audacious terrorist attack that they've done. And I think now the general consensus is that the state is going to step up its activities against BLA and other terror organizations.
As you say, perhaps the most audacious attack that we've seen. Hundreds of people who were just travelling on an ordinary passenger train taken hostage for hours, some of them killed. How big a failure is this on the part of the Pakistani intelligence, police and security services?
Well, clearly there are a lot of questions that need to be answered now. Of course, since the operation was going on the last 48 hours, the entire focus was on getting all the passengers back safely. Once now that this operation is over, I think questions will be asked and people will be held accountable because, as you said, this is a failure in a number of ways. And I'm sure that those people who were responsible for ensuring that such information should have been available prior to the incident happening will have to be held accountable for this huge lapse.
Yeah, because an attack like this doesn't just happen out of the blue. It clearly takes significant planning and preparation by the BLA. What does this attack tell us about how the separatist movement in Balochistan has evolved, and what do you think the Pakistani government and security services should be doing going forward to combat this threat?
It is true that this insurgency has scaled up in the last couple of years, and for a number of reasons. Some of them are linked directly to the way that the Pakistani authorities have been dealing with the Balochistan issue, and it links to a number of governance failures and a lack of political engagement with the people there. But that is only one part of the story. The other is, of course, how this insurgency has grown in intensity and scale because of the aid and abetment and funding and help coming from external sources. So now, after this terrible incident that took place yesterday and day before, I think there is a greater urgency within the state to somehow make sure that this insurgency, this wave of terrorism is quelled. I think in order to do that, the government will have to step up both in terms of its kinetic operations, counter-terrorism operations, and also linked to that, a greater political engagement with the people of Balochistan so that a dual approach can lead to a better outcome.